So as you're looking at live pictures from downtown Chicago, more protests are expected in New York today over the grand jury's decision not to indict a police officer over the death of Eric Garner. So those live pictures that you're seeing again are Chicago, but clearly these protests are nationwide. Now, New York police made more than 200 arrests during protests last night, throughout the night and into the morning. The demonstrations over Eric Garner's death and the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson are raising new concerns, meanwhile, about freedom of speech and when the police have a right to interfere with and arrest protesters. And for more on the interaction between police and protesters, let's bring in T-Dubb-O and Bassem Masri. They both took part in demonstrations in Ferguson, and T-Dubb-O took part in the community leaders meeting with President Obama earlier in the week. Now, Bassem was responsible for live streaming the Ferguson protests in their earliest days. And I want to start with, first of all, thank you both for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
And Bassem, I want to start with you because one of the things that you've talked about, or that people have talked about you on social media, is the fact that you really did seem to aggravate police in Ferguson by live streaming those protests. And you have talked about the fact that you've had previous run-ins with police on traffic ticket issues, numerous arrests by police. Tell me about your interaction with police in your capacity as an independent journalist, documenting what was happening.
Well, basically, they just show really aggressive. They're real aggressive towards us because it's an objective view. They can't control what we say, you know what I'm saying, but they can go to the mainstream media and be able to give the points that they want and to be able to, to do stuff based on that. But with us, we're out there, we're objective, and you hear actually what's going on in the streets, which they don't want to hear.
And Tita, but yet you guys have been really effective. I mean, to the point where you were invited to be on the list of people who went to the White House to talk to the president. So do you feel that social media has just disrupted the ability of even people like me to kind of orchestrate the story? This really is you guys' story.
Of course, we're very strategic in what we do. We're not as ignorant as people like to portray. When we put the message out, when they were forcing the local media out, we went back to our marketing roots as far as marketing our music as artists, and used the hashtags SEO, SEM, and linked out to our people nationally so we can get the narrative out.
Well, that's a good point you made, because you are an artist, a musical artist as well. So do you feel like that experience of having to move the musical marketing sort of game online and onto social media, is that kind of what's helped you specifically to kind of make this thing work as well?
Of course, spreading this message was nothing but business. I took the same tactics from business and applied it, and it worked.
And so I want to just stay with you just for a second, T-Dubb. When you went to the White House, what did you tell the president that you and other activists want to see, and what did he say?
We want to see the change that he talked about in this campaign. We want the freedom to be able to walk down the street without being harassed by police, without being extorted, without getting 6 warning shots in my back just because I want a sandwich late at night. And he told us that he agreed that it was a problem. He said he was proud of us, regardless to the narrative that some of the media is portraying us. He said he was proud of everything that we're doing, and we have his support. He wants us to keep fighting.
And Bassem, from your point of view, what changes specifically would you want to see come out of all of this activism?
Well, just for the fact that the police, they know that they serve us as a community and that we don't serve them. And that the fact that, all these aggressive policies and the extortion that they place upon our community has to stop. All that funding that they're getting from us, we have no idea where it goes. The traffic tickets, all that stuff is just money in thin air that, that doesn't help our community whatsoever. Our education system's in shambles. Drugs are all on the streets. They're not fighting real crime. They're focusing on these little stuff while we have a heroin epidemic and a gun problem in St. Louis. We have almost 150 murders this year in St. Louis, and they're worried about petty stuff instead of worrying about the real stuff. And it's getting all of us innocent civilians in the way of that. That's what we need to stop.
Well, let's stay with Ferguson for just a moment, because there is this commission that's been put together. You have the governor talk about, you're already laughing, talking about a task force. I guess I'm going to just ask the question anyway. Do you think that a commission will help to solve the problems in Ferguson?
Not at all. To be honest, Ferguson is a wonderful neighborhood. That was the first murder that occurred there all year, and it was a police officer shooting an unarmed kid. It's a good neighborhood. You can leave your doors unlocked and sleep on the street before this situation. So the fact that they've steered the narrative away from it being a regional problem to separate Ferguson from the rest of St. Louis and the 90 other municipalities in St. Louis is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, what do you say, Bassem, to people who say, well, listen, it's the fault of the people within St. Louis County. They voted in Bob McCullough. He's been in for like 28 years. He keeps getting reelected. No one runs against him, or when someone does, they don't vote for them, that people just don't participate. They're not choosing leaders that they would prefer.
Well, when you have a whole community that feels like they've been disenfranchised and the system doesn't work for them, you don't blame that on the people, you blame that on the system that's been there, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that people aren't participating in the government just goes to show you they have no faith in that government. So some stuff is going to have to change. You know, we're in the 21st century where we got a lot of internet and stuff to where people can communicate. We don't have to have these old school ways of, you know, voting or whatnot to make people's voice heard in our community and in our government. There needs to be more ways.
So both of you have had negative interactions, we'll call it that, with police. There's a lot of talk now about body cameras being the answer. Obviously, the Eric Garner case shows that having an interaction that ends in the death of a civilian on tape doesn't necessarily lead to, you know, what the family would want to see as justice. Do you think body cameras would be helpful at least?
It's a game tape of me being murdered. I think it should already been standard issue, like mace and a taser. I don't think we should be wasting $263 million of taxpayer money just for 50,000 body cameras when they can buy locally new charges every time they come out. And plus, I mean, they have the audacity, the authority to turn them off at will. There was a young man that was murdered in New Orleans, and the female officer, she turned the camera off right before the gun went off.
Yeah. And in terms of then, if it's not body cameras, Bassem, then what would change and make the interactions between civilians, between people of color and police more positive? What would change it?
Well, I would definitely more training on how to effectively deal with a community that's not of your own race, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you know, the way I feel it, you know, they're working, so they need to take more like customer service. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like classes, stuff like that, just to be able to interact with people with more respect. At the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all demand respect. Just like they want the respect, we need that respect as well. And that's a big part of this issue right here, is that the fact that the police don't respect us whatsoever. Either you're a protester or a citizen, it feels like that you work for them. There's no bearing on whatsoever about how, you know, like locking us up is not going to fix our community whatsoever. They have to find new ways of being able to punish people for these petty crimes, you know what I'm saying, instead of locking them up with murderers and thieves.
Bassem, Masri, T-Dubb-O, obviously you guys are being heard. I really appreciate you guys being here. Please keep up what you're doing. If you head back to the White House, we'd like you to come back and give us a report on what the president had to say to follow up with you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Joy.
Thank you both for being here. All right.